If you are trying to choose between Perth and Melbourne, let me save you months of confusion. One city is going to give you routine and predictability. The other one is actually going to challenge you, push you, and grow you, whether you're ready or not. Hi guys, this is Athulya and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss living in Perth versus living in Melbourne. So I have lived in Perth for 2 years and now it's been over a year that I've actually moved to Melbourne. So I feel right now I am in a good spot to actually discuss living in Perth versus living in Melbourne. So now, without further ado, let's get started. Number one on my list is the pace, the energy, and the vibe of city. Now, Perth is calm, quiet, and predictable. It's like that safe bubble. Now, it is great for you if your ideal weekend is just lazing around, having those slow mornings, chilling at the beaches, and having less crowd around you. And I must say that when it comes to nature, it's way prettier in Perth, whether it's gardens or beaches or just in general. And to add on to that, you don't need to pay parking in any of the beaches in Perth. So I feel that is way better in Perth. Melbourne, on the other hand, is stimulation on demand. I feel there's always people, events, multicultural energy, the late night outs, the nightlife, creativity everywhere. So if you thrive on novelty, inspiration, and being around people chasing goals, then Melbourne wins instantly. Don't get me wrong, Perth isn't bad, but if you are ambitious, growth oriented, and building something of your own, the pace can feel way too slow. Second on my list is opportunities, career, and growth. Now, Perth has opportunity, but it's quite concentrated into a couple of sectors, which is engineering, mining, healthcare, and public sector. The ecosystem is small, so the networking is quite limited. Melbourne, on the other hand, is built for reinvention. You can pivot careers, pick up new skills, find a community, meet new people every week. Now, if I talk about my personal experience, when I moved from Perth to Melbourne, it felt like an instant activation. I met people, I joined different communities, I was learning new things, going to new types of classes. And overall, I really feel that I grew because I had that level of stimulation and opportunities around me. And the phase of life that I was in when I moved from Perth to Melbourne was a bit dark in nature. So I really feel that this level of opportunities and stimulation really helped me to get out of it and come out stronger and more evolved. Number three on my list is the cost of living, which is the reality check, right? Now, I must say Melbourne is way more expensive than Perth. Now, hear me out. I'm not really talking about the rent or the groceries because that, my friend, is pretty much the same. If you're living in Perth CBD, you will easily end up paying $650 to $800 a week, and same goes in Melbourne as well for a similar apartment. So it's not about the rent. Then what is it that I'm actually talking about? It is the lifestyle. Now, in Melbourne, you have access to so many things, whether it's concerts, cafes, eating out, meeting people, joining communities, or learning a new skill. There's always so much to do. And you do end up doing those things, right? So that's where you will spend a lot of money, which is why I feel that Melbourne is way more expensive than Perth. Also, when it comes to buying a property, of course, Melbourne could be slightly more expensive than Perth. But majorly, what I am talking about here is the lifestyle that you get in Melbourne is way more expensive than Perth. I mean, for all of us as individuals, when there are more options, you automatically tend to go experience it, right? So Perth is going to give you more breathing room financially. So you can definitely save more without really trying too hard. Now, another thing I wanted to add here was cheap living doesn't always mean a better way of living because sometimes spending more buys you access to experience, community, exposure, and momentum. Fourth point here is the social life and diversity. So in Perth, of course, you can build a community, but you really need to hunt for it. The Indian immigrant community exists, but it's smaller and way too spread out. Whereas if I talk about Melbourne, it's just there, everywhere. You don't need to really try to make friends. You automatically make friends. People, culture, vibes, it's just there everywhere. And there's always something happening, and everyone's just from somewhere. So All in all, it makes very easy to build or find that community in Melbourne compared to Perth. So now to conclude, I'm going to say if you want comfort, consistency, and slower living, you'll definitely enjoy Perth. But if you're somebody who is wanting growth, stimulation, people, opportunity, and a city that forces you to evolve, then Melbourne is the right place for you. Personally say that you should choose the city which aligns with the version of you that you are trying to build and not the one that is actually keeping you comfortable. That's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below which city vibes with you more and what are your reasons for it. I'd love to read that. Thank you so much for watching. This is me, Athulya Nair, signing off. Ciao!